Imagine, out in the vast, quiet emptiness of space, a colossal, silent object just appears, something that's about to change everything humanity thinks it knows. In this explainer, we are diving deep into the incredible mystery at the very heart of Arthur C. Clarke's masterpiece, Rendezvous with Rama.
The entire story kicks off with this one simple, bone-chilling sentence. And it's not just a clever opening line, you know? It's a promise, a warning that something was coming that we were just not ready for.
So, what was it that was bound to happen? Well, it all starts with a catastrophe, an event that completely rewrote our relationship with the cosmos and set the stage for everything that was about to unfold.
For a long, long time, humanity basically got lucky. Back in 1908, a meteor flattened a huge, remote part of Siberia in Tunguska. Then in 1947, another one hit near Vladivostok. These were serious cosmic warning shots, but, we didn't fully listen. And that luck? It ran out on September 11th, 2077.
On that day, a meteor shower didn't miss. It slammed right into northern Italy, and in an instant, 600,000 people were gone. The cities of Padua and Verona were just wiped off the map, and the shockwaves permanently flooded Venice. It was a tragedy on a scale that's hard to even wrap your head around, and it was a brutal, brutal wake-up call.
But out of that horror, humanity actually came together. The result was Project Space Guard. It was a planetary defense system with a single crucial mission: watch the skies and make damn sure nothing like that could ever happen again. For the first time, we weren't just passengers in the universe, we were actively defending our home. For 50 years, Space Guard did its job, and it did it perfectly. But then, in the year 2130, its radars picked up something new. Something that wasn't a threat. No, this was a mystery. A mystery far, far bigger than anyone could have possibly imagined. At first, it was just a number in a catalog, Object 31/4399. But it very quickly became obvious that this was no ordinary chunk of rock. So the scientists gave it a name that was worthy of its mystery, a name right out of Hindu mythology. They called it Rama.
And Rama was just a complete scientific headache. For starters, it was moving way too fast. So fast that the sun's gravity couldn't possibly capture it. This thing was on a one-way ticket, just passing through. It also showed no change in how it reflected light, which meant it was either perfectly mathematically symmetrical or it wasn't spinning at all, both of which seemed pretty much impossible. Until they made the final jaw-dropping discovery. Oh, it was spinning all right. It was rotating once every 4 minutes, a speed so ridiculously fast it would have ripped any normal asteroid into pieces. So they sent a probe, called SETA, to get a closer look. And the photos it sent back confirmed what everyone was starting to suspect. Rama was a perfect, manufactured cylinder, 50 kilometers long. But the final absolute truth, the thing that settled it once and for all, came when they analyzed its mass. For an object that big, it was just way too light. The conclusion was totally inescapable. Rama was hollow.
And just like that, humanity knew we are not alone. So the mission immediately changed. This was no longer about just watching from a distance. It was time to intercept. It was time for a rendezvous.
Now, there was only one ship in the entire solar system that had even a ghost of a chance of catching this thing as it sped by. A solar survey vessel called the Endeavour, captained by William Norton. He and his crew were about to become the most important explorers in all of human history.
As the Endeavour got closer, the crew was just confronted with a sense of scale that's almost impossible for us to comprehend. Try to picture it, a manufactured object weighing at least 10 trillion tons, ancient and silent, just tumbling through our backyard. It was awe-inspiring for sure, but also more than a little terrifying.
So they landed on one of its perfectly flat ends, but the surface was totally featureless, a seamless metal hull. So the next great mystery was obvious. How do you get inside? And more importantly, what's waiting for you on the other side? Getting inside was as strange and deliberate as Rama itself. They eventually found what looked like a manual wheel and used it to bypass not one, not two, but a triple redundant lock system. Then they had to go through a 500-meter-long tunnel and get through another set of triple locks. Beyond that, just absolute, total, perfect blackness.
Whoever built this thing was clearly serious about security. But after all that,
After navigating this incredibly complex entrance, the crew was standing right on the edge of the greatest unknown in history. What in the world was waiting for them in there?
So Commander Norton fires off a flare, and for one single breathtaking moment of light, he saw it. In his own words, he realized he was looking at an entire world, and he was struggling to freeze the image in his mind.
What he saw was a vast, hollow world inside the cylinder, 16 kilometers wide. A frozen band of ice, which they nicknamed the cylindrical sea, wrapped around its center. On an island in that sea was a cluster of massive structures that looked like a city, so they called it New York. And leading down from where they were standing were 3 colossal stairways just disappearing into the darkness below.
Okay, so seeing this impossible world is one thing, but exploring it, that's something else entirely. Now came the moment of truth, the first steps down into this vast, dark, alien landscape.
But first, they had to get their heads around the physics, which is where things get really trippy. See, inside a spinning cylinder like Rama, gravity is actually centrifugal force. Right at the center, the axes where they came in, there's 0 g. But as you move down, towards the inner surface, that artificial gravity gets stronger and stronger, eventually reaching about 60% of Earth's gravity on the planes below. This meant going down those stairs was totally surreal. They literally had to climb down from the 0 g axis. As gravity slowly kicked in, they were able to just use the handrails to slide for kilometers at a time, passing these massive terraces until they finally stepped out onto the vast plain 8 kilometers from where they started.
And so there they were, standing on the floor of an artificial world, completely dwarfed by the immense scale of it all. Their helmet lights could only cut a tiny circle out of the darkness, leaving them to guess at the silent, frozen landscape that stretched out for miles and miles in every direction.
Which leaves us right here, with the 2 questions that power the rest of this incredible story. Who were the beings that could build such an impossible world? And, maybe more importantly, where did they all go?